Last week I was driving my 6-speed Cummins and unfortunately the transmission locked in 5th gear. Now I didn't know it at the time, but there was literally no transmission fluid in this transmission. Now, luckily this transmission was still drivable. I was able to get where my truck was at back to my house. Smoked a clutch like one time, but I was able to get to my house with no other hiccups. With it being locked in 5th gear, I can only go forward and that's it. I can't go in reverse, can't go in any other gear but 5th gear. So we have to pull this transmission out and get it shipped out. Now, luckily, I've put an MV4500 in this truck. I've pulled the 2-wheel drive transmission out of this truck, the 47RE, like 2 or 3 times. So it shouldn't be too hard to pull an MV5600 out of this truck. The only difference is it's gonna be a lot heavier than a 2-wheel drive transmission and an MV4500. The 5600 is a lot bigger than the MV4500. So with that being said, let's pull the transmission out of this truck. So the first thing I'm gonna do is remove this cross member and remove the drive shaft. Luckily, it's a 1-piece drive shaft. All I have to do is remove those U-joint caps at the axle and this thing will slide out of the transfer case. Now it's time to remove the skid plate and the 2nd and 3rd cross member for this transmission. So I have the front drive shaft removed. I have the linkage from the transfer case going inside the cab to the shifter removed. Nothing is holding this transfer case in but these bolts on the tail housing of MV5600. So we can go ahead and drop this transfer case now. And look who showed up just in time. Sheesh, 1500 baby. Just in time, getting ready to pull this transfer case out.
What am I getting myself into?
Loosen that jack a little bit for some reason, unless I didn't get all the bolts off. Oh, there we go. Oh, all right, let that jack down. It's the this little star wheel. It's a good thing a transfer case isn't too heavy because I've put one of these up by hand before. We're gonna get the 1st gen backed up over here, throw a pallet in the back. We went and picked up a couple free pallets the other day so we can ship the transmission and transfer case off. But we're gonna pull this over there and then me and Hunter are gonna load it into the back of the 1st gen. I've got a few pallets right here. One of them is like broken at the bottom. This one's broken too, but this one's better than the other one, so we're gonna go with this one. I might be able to get this just myself. If you want to get up in the bed, and I'll hand it to you. Or not. All right, got everything all unbolted, cross member out. The last thing that we have to do is unbolt the bell housing from the back of the engine. So this is where the fun begins. That's not even the right bolt for it. So I'm gonna just use a regular damn bolt in it. That's what they're supposed to look like. Now, the top ones are going to be tricky. This All right, after about 20 minutes of trying to get the last bell housing bolts out, I was barely able to get my hand in there. If I had like 2 feet of extensions, I could have got it in like 3 seconds, but I didn't. So it took that long, but we got all of them out. Now we should just be able to jack up on this transmission and slide this thing out, and hopefully it doesn't fall. So Hunter, you want to jack up on that while I push out on this? All right. Up from up top now. Push on that jack. Like barely. Yeah, we got it. Come down. I'm trying to see that. Yeah. Okay. What's your news? A 2-wheel drive 47 RE, and definitely huge compared to an MV 4500. So we have this truck jacked up like pretty much as high as we can get it out of the front, and it was still not enough room to clear the bell housing to the frame with the transmission jack. So I went ahead and put a jack stand under the front bell housing, and then I picked up the rear end. Hunter pulled the jack out, I set it back down, and then I put both feet into the transmission, held it up, pulled that jack stand out, and now we are fully on the ground. So I think I'm just gonna go ahead and pull this thing out. And there it is. The transmission is out of the truck. So there is the NV 5600. That ran out of oil and pretty much welded itself together. The input shaft and the output shaft are welded together. So you could probably see the carnage once you take off this tail housing. But I'm gonna leave it all up to the boys over at Long Range Gear. They're gonna go ahead and take this thing apart, rebuild it. I'm gonna have them paint it red for the body, and then I think there was like a gray silver color for the bell housing. There's a picture on their Instagram and it looked really cool, so I might have them do that for this transmission. So we'll have a red and gray transmission, or silver, I'm not sure. And then those PTO plates, I'll have them probably paint it the same color as the bell housing. But now the next challenge is me and Hunter can pick this thing up and put it on the pallet in the first gen. Seeing that this transmission is a lot heavier than a transfer case, we're gonna back it all the way up and try to get this thing in the back of the first gen. Ready to put your big boy panties on? This would be a lot easier if I had a damn cherry picker. Easy. God, ow, that crossed my finger. And this casting is sharp as hell. I just cut myself. Put on my big boy pants. 3, 2, 1. Woo. Pick your side up. Probably, since this is so heavy, we got to make sure that it's right on the middle support, or it's going to start breaking these. So let me move this transfer case out of the way. Just drop it onto the bed. A little more. So hopefully they got a damn forklift they can pull this off. Pull this off of the bed. Sweet. So it is the next day. I have the transmission strapped down. That thing ain't going nowhere. I already know that this thing has no oil, so I don't really have to drain it. On the other hand, the transfer case, when I took it down out of the truck, usually you get a little bit of oil out the seal on the back end. Didn't get any. I'm not even sure that this transfer case has any oil in it, just like the transmission. But we'll go ahead and check and see if there's any oil in this transfer case. Oh, I saw a little bit come out. A few freaking drops, man. Literally had no oil in it. It's like someone drained it, but didn't fill it back up. So I don't know what the deal was with that. I could have saved myself a lot of hassle if I went ahead when I bought this truck, checked them and filled them up or changed them. But unfortunately, it skipped my mind, didn't think about it, and now I'm paying the price. So now I just need to strap this one to the pallet, and I'm getting ready to head down to the freight shipper and ship this thing out to Long Range Gear. So I am headed to go pick up Hunter because he wants to go with me when I drop this pallet off at FedEx Freight to get it shipped out. I love driving this first gen. If I didn't have like so many projects already, I would totally buy this thing because it just drives awesome. The only problem with it is when you come to a stop, I think one of the rotors is warped, so that when you come to a stop, it wants to like stutter, like the rotor's warped. So that's like the only problem with it. But other than that, man, this thing, I love this truck. Wish I could buy it. I mean, I could buy it, but I got way too many projects already. So with it taking like 20 minutes to get that one bolt out, after about 20 minutes of trying to get the last bell housing bolt out, here at Harbor Freight, I think I'm gonna pick up a pack of these long extensions. I can put like multiple together to reach that bolt. I know I'll need these for other projects, so 20 bucks, it ain't bad. There it is, transmission shipped off to Long Range Gear. If you guys need anything to do with manual transmissions, definitely hit them up. I'll leave their Instagram below. And they also make teardown videos of G56s, MV4500s, MV5600s. So definitely go check out their YouTube as well. I'll leave them both linked in the description. But we are gonna be waiting. It's gonna take about a week to get there. Today's Tuesday. I think it's gonna reach there on the 21st. So that's a little bit more than a week. And then I'm guessing a little bit more than a week to get back. And I talked to them and they said they have pretty good turnaround times. Like if they get it in, they're gonna have it done in a few days. So I'm betting, I was just betting like a month for the truck to be down, but I bet that I have the transmission back before a month. 6-speed Cummins is gonna be down for, I'm just gonna say a month. So we can go ahead and start working and trying to figure out the front end of the lifted truck and get that all scored away. So thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for more videos and we'll see you in the next one. Dip and Diesel out.